Hey everyone, my name is Mukul and welcome back to NIIT Presents LangChain by Project series, where we don't just learn theoretical stuff, we learn by actually building the end-to-end project. And in this episode, we're going to build something a lot of you have been asking for, a local ChatGPT-style chatbot that runs entirely on your machine using Llama 3, LangChain and Streamlit, and we're calling it Chat LLM. This app can remember your previous messages, respond in different personalities like standard, teacher, developer, and friendly, and run completely offline using Llama model through Ollama. And if episode 1 was a simple one-shot coding helper, this one is a full multi-turn assistant, basically your own local ChatGPT. Alright, let me give you a quick preview of how this AI bot works. So here's the interface. This is the actual app you're about to build. You've got your chat window on the right and your settings on the left, which include personality options, a response length slider, and a button to clear the conversation. On the right side, you type a message, the model thinks for a moment, and then it responds completely offline using Llama 3. Okay, now that you've seen what we are building, let's jump to VS Code and start putting it together. So right at the top of the file, we start by importing everything we need. We bring in Streamlit to build the UI, datetime so we can timestamp each message, chat Ollama so we can talk to our local Llama model, chat prompt template to structure our prompts, and str output parser so we get clean readable text back. We also import human message and a message because LangChain needs these to represent the conversation properly. Then we set one global variable, Llama 3.23b. This tells the chat Ollama wrapper which model to call. This version of Llama is small enough to run smoothly on most machines, but still powerful enough to feel like a real AI assistant. Next, we set up the session state, and this is where our chat memory lives. We check if messages exist in the session. If not, we create it as an empty list. And every message we store will have three things: the role, it can be user or assistant, the content, the actual text that the user will write, and the time, like 1432. And Streamlit keeps this memory alive between every reruns, which means our chat never suddenly resets. After that, we define our personality modes, where we have standard assistant, that is a normal AI chatbot, then the teacher mode that explain everything step by step. After that, developer mode, it gives more concise and precise technical answer. And finally, friendly mode, which is more friendly and casual. Then we configure our Streamlit page. We set the page title, which is Chat LLM, local ChatGPT, and set the layout to centered. After that, we will build the entire sidebar here, where the user can choose the personality, set the maximum response length from 300 to 800, or clear the entire conversation. When someone clicks clear conversation, the model simply reset the message list and rerun the page so everything refreshes instantly. This gives the user full control over how the assistant behaves. Now let's set up the actual AI model, where we create a chat Ollama model and give it our model's name and set a slightly low temperature so the answers stay focused. And then we set the response length based on the slider we created before. After that comes the important part, chat prompt template. This prompt always includes a system message which contains the personality of the model, then entire chat history, and last, the latest user message. So every time the user types something, the model sees the whole conversation and responds in context. Then we attach the parser and build the chain that sends the data from prompt through the model and finally through the output parser, thus create a perfect single pipeline. After that, we create a small helper function, format history as message, that converts our stored chat history into actual LangChain messages. And why do we do that? Because LangChain expects each message to be either a human message or an A message, not just a dictionary. So this function quietly converts everything behind the scenes and makes the whole system work seamless. Now we move on to the actual UI part, the part that user can see. And for that, we set a title, Episode 5, Chat LLM, and a small caption, your fully local, offline ChatGPT-style assistant using Llama 3, LangChain, and Streamlit. Then we render the entire chat history and loop through every message in session state and display a chat bubble with the role, content, and a timestamp of the message. That will recreate a clean, familiar chat interface. Below that, we show the chat input field where the user will write their message. And once they hit enter, the LLM will begin the work. When the user sends a message, the AI will record the current time and add the message to session state using message.append and display it immediately in the chat. Then we prepare the chat history and send everything to the LLM chain using chain.invoke with details like system prompt, chat history, and user input. Now we added a small message and a spinner so it feels like the AI is thinking, and the model will respond with a full answer now. At last, we append the data to assistant again.
Alright, so now let's actually see this thing in action, because this is where everything starts to click. I'll jump into the terminal real quick and just run the app using Streamlit run ep5_chat_llm.py. And in a second, the app opens up in the browser. Now the first thing you'll notice is the sidebar on the left. This is where I can control the behavior of the assistant. So for example, I can switch the personality. Let's say I pick developer mode. And I can also limit how long the responses should be. Once that's set, I move to the main chat area and just start the conversation like you normally would. Something simple like, hey, what can you help me with? And immediately you'll see the response comes back in that developer style tone. It sounds like a software engineer explaining things clearly and to the point. Now, if I switch the personality to something more friendly, the exact same question suddenly feels more relaxed, more conversational. So already you can see how much control we have just by changing the system prompt. From here, I can keep asking follow-up questions normally. For example, I'll ask, explain decorators in Python. And the important thing to notice here is that the model remembers everything. It's not answering these questions in isolation. Every message is being sent along with the entire chat history, so the conversation actually feels continuous, like a real chat, not just a single Q&A. And if at any point the conversation gets too long, or I just want to start fresh, I can hit the clear conversation button in the sidebar and boom, the memory resets instantly. And the best part about all of this? This entire thing is running locally. There are no API keys here, no cloud calls, nothing leaving your machine. It's just Streamlit, LangChain, and Llama 3.23b running through Ollama on your own system. So yeah, that's the live demo. Before we wrap up, let's zoom out for a second. This episode wasn't just about building a chat app. What you've really built here is the foundation for almost everything else we'll do later in this series. You now know how to manage multi-turn conversations, how to control AI behavior using system prompts, and how to wire everything together into a clean end-to-end pipeline. From here, adding things like tools, document retrieval, or more agent-like behavior becomes way easier because the core structure is already in place. And yeah, if this episode helped you, let me know in the comments what you'd like to add next. Tool calling? Reading local files? Mixing this with RAG? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.